Hi all, and a very warm welcome to the Grassroots Weekender show. Hope everyone's keeping fine out there, and I hope you've had a great weekend up to now. 1st of October, wow, how these months and days and weeks and nights are flying. It'll soon be Christmas. You're all waiting for that one, didn't you? Anyway, welcome to the show. Hope you've had a great Grassroots weekend. I hope your teams have done really well, and well, you've enjoyed it. I enjoyed mine. It was a frightening for probably one of the top teams that we played in our under-7s. 3-all at half-time. We were 3-0 up, and they must have really wondered what had gone on. I did anyway, so it's made up. I'm made up that the development of football is working. They're improving the kids. I'm just happy that I'm proving a little point here, and I'll tell you more about that as the weeks go on. But we talk a little bit about the Premier League. Now, I've never seen social media come to life from all walks of life, to be honest. So much regarding the incidents, if there are incidents. Liverpool v Tottenham game. Now, everyone knows I'm a Red, but I'm really proud the way Liverpool Football Club played. I really am. Controversial decisions, as we all know, and I think everyone knows that it wasn't offside. Even I watched it, and straight away I went, that's a goal, he's onside. And I think we're all shocked, weren't we, as to what the verdict was straight away, very quickly indeed, offside. That could have put Liverpool up, and I tell you what, I think it would have put us on the road to about 3-4-0 win against Tottenham. That would have pulled them all back, but unfortunately it didn't. And Liverpool ended up with 9 men, 8 outfield players, 1 goalkeeper who was absolutely outstanding. The saves, everything, it just seemed to be alert for everything. Every player played a part in that game. I don't think the debate's all about, people are talking about Jota on his sending off as well. Now, people are blaming the second foul, you know what I mean, he shouldn't have done it, that's erratic, everyone's got the same opinion, but at the end of the day, if that was at the start of the game, I don't even think he'd have been booked. That would have just been a free kick, my honest opinion. The crowd, as we all know, the home fans get the backs up the players, and it goes a little bit worse than what it was, but you've got to play football to know and understand these games. I really, you know, you can see it, you know, Curtis Jones, he's gone in, never ever in a million years he's gone in to hurt the person, the player in question, and he's gone over the top of the ball, and I think the correct decision should have been a yellow, and then, you know, VAR, a serious foul play. But what really was annoying is the still picture on the screen. It was lined up ready. Now even I would have seen that and went, whoa, leg breaker. And then you look at it in real time, as all the pundits have said, all the ex-players have said, well, what more could we say? You know, it was a yellow and it should have stayed a yellow. Curtis Jones isn't a player like that, we all know it. Unfortunately, it was a red, and then Jota, we all know the first booking. We're talking about the first booking that he done, he run across, or the player has kicked him himself. There was no foul whatsoever. But to be a booking is what's baffled me. It really has. You can't give a booking for that. You couldn't. There was nothing there, and the referee was right on top of it. Right on top of it. You couldn't help but notice that, because I'm even watching on the screen and thinking, did he touch him then? You know, and here's me on the screen, I wasn't there right in front of it, and you know, then the second caution, that was because he just had a straight yellow, isn't it, you know what I mean, straight after. You could say it's a little bit of frustration, but I can't blame the player at the end of the day. I really can't. Everyone's sort of having a right go at him and saying he should be ashamed, even the pundits. But you've got to go back to the first booking. Simple as that. And then you've got the likes of pundits like Gary Neville turning around and saying, yeah, but it could have been booked before that, could have been booked before that as well. That is not that is not neither here nor there. That really isn't. Disappointed. Obviously the own goal, that's the only way that I think they were going to score, because Alisson was on fire and the defence were absolutely brilliant, and it was just one of those things, wasn't it? And it was meant to be. 30 seconds left in that game. And you've got Maddison turning around saying when Jurgen Klopp, sees that, he'll know the 2 straight reds. Well, Maddison, I'm sorry mate, you're a player, and I think when you sit down and you look at that, I think you'll change your mind a little bit as well. But think before you speak, to be honest, on those ones. You were on the pitch, you can't really say anything about that, and I'd like to see what has happened if you'd have gone in for that tackle myself, I really do, and what your reaction would have been. Well, hey ho, it's one of those things. That's my point. Every team was sort of losing ground, weren't they? And it was just Tottenham and Arsenal who were making the grounds. But I'm really pleased at Liverpool, and I can't wait to get Tottenham at Anfield, and I bet those players can't either. One of those things, I suppose, but let's go and let's move on to the next game, which is Brighton away. Watch how Brighton play. They've just been beaten 6-1 by Leeds. Now watch when Liverpool come. What's the difference in these teams when Liverpool come and how they perform? They all lift their game for some reason. And okay, I know we're hated. I know that's what it is. I don't know why, because I think we've got some cracking players in there now who are adapting to the Premier League very quickly indeed. Everyone played their part. It was unfortunate that, this was taken. The game looked brilliant, absolutely fantastic, until the sending off. Then it was gone. It was totally gone. You could see it. Why did we do it? I don't know. But anyway, let's get back on to grassroots football. We were out and about today in a very wet day, but it was a very warm day for some reason. And I was thinking there's going to be thunderstorms here as well. Kids were loving it. It was on and off heavy, and then it was that drizzle, that rain that soaks you right through, as Peter Kay used to say. Rain that soaks you right through. Well, anyway, it was one of those days. But loads of great football, you could see it. And again, my honest opinion, I think it was very thin on the ground with spectators. And I really don't know why this is. What it normally is, chock-a-block. And I've had to leave early because obviously I've got loads to do, loads of catching up to do. And I'm back in work tomorrow, so I really have got a lot to do. And even I've got to do my permit as well, parking permit outside my house. Thank you very much, Everton Football Club. If you don't do it, and I felt sorry for the chap across the road who got a ticket, he must have forgot to get it. He lives outside, he's got a car, he's penalised. Does that make sense? Right outside his own house? It doesn't, it really doesn't. I've had a few fines myself right outside my own house. Why should you get penalised for having a car? I really don't know. Supposed to be for the residents, but the residents are paying the fines. Great stuff. Anyway, we were talking yesterday about admin. We've had a really good conversation. I've been talking to managers regarding all this. A lot of frustrated managers actually over loads of admin that they have to start doing now. The whole game system, leagues are putting admin up on full time. And it's easy to say, it only takes you a minute to do all this. It's not the minute that it takes you to do it, because let's put this into perspective here for a coach and manager. They turn up at the game, but before they turn up at that game, they've got WhatsApp groups, they've got kids to try and get in order to find out who's turning up, who's not turning up, what time the game is, who they're playing. He's got to fill all this information out first to all the parents and make sure that the kids are all available. Then he's got to sort the kids out if he has them or she has them, and if they've all got them themselves, they've got to make sure that they've all got the right gear, to be honest, before that game goes ahead. Now this has been from all week, because they've got training as well. And then you turn up to a football match, and as the committee member explained to me, it's simple. You come up with your lanyard, you show your lanyard, you show your registration card, that's it. Then you go out, pay your referee fees, and you go out to play your game. And then on that game you have to keep your scores. On that game you've got to keep a check on the kids. On that game you've got kids saying to you, when am I on? And every coach knows what this is, even though they know the time. How long have we got before we go on? what scores here, who scored that, and those are the kids that are on the touchline with you. Then you've got to organise the players on the field of play. Then you've got to try and make sure that they are getting the scheduled time, and you've got to adapt to that, but you've got to keep a registration of your scores, because your scores have to go onto the full-time system at the end of the game. So it's not just taking a minute, it's taking a lot out of your day. And the quote was, you've got 30 hours to do it. Well, unfortunately, if you've got 30 hours to do it, wow, you've got no free time. You've got all the time in the world to do this, but why should you have to do all this admin to give the kids a game of football? You have to mark the referees, you have to put your score in, double check. If you don't, it's a £10 fine. And £10 fines, okay, it's all very well saying you can go to a food bank, we know that, and it's great, but we also have a collection for food banks, so all the teams bring in food, and I think that should be ample, and I think the organisers of every food bank should understand that times are hard for a lot of people out there, and it all depends on the club, was the quote as well, but it doesn't all depend on the club, it all depends, well I suppose it does, if you've got a club, a team, and you're lucky to have a big sponsor, you're lucky to have every parent working, then it depends on the club, because money is no object. Money is no object. But what about the teams, the clubs that don't have all the parents who are working, struggling, people who can't really afford it, and we're banging them with fines? But then again, we're not banging them with fines. This depends on the club. Now, I cannot, if I do something wrong on this admin on full time, I cannot then take this money out of the club because it's my fault for not doing the admin correct. Am I right in this? Am I correct in this? Do managers take it out the club and say, I've just been fined because it's not the right thing to do, and I run the club properly, that's the way I want with my teams, and I know, so if I make a mistake, I can't charge those kids' parents, I can't, it's my mistake, so it's coming out of my pocket yet again. Where do I get this from? Thankfully I'm working, so my job can afford to pay the fines, which I think is unfair again to the coaches, to the managers, because I don't think the managers and the coaches actually get the support that they deserve. I really don't. They are the backbone of grassroots football. Without the managers and the coaches, we've got no teams. The kids, where are they going to be? On street corners yet again. You don't need referees, you don't need committees, you don't need leagues, because there's no teams. So we've got to make these managers and coaches very important, but we don't. We dictate to them, we tell them what they've got to do, and if they don't like it when they join up to a league and sign their codes of conduct or the rules of the league, then they can't put a team in. Now, it is hard. I'm back in the old school where I used to love it. You put your name down for a football team, for a football league, and you got accepted in there. It was great. Then you had your registration card, and everyone had, could do a team check. The committee go out there, and that was part and parcel of football. Keep the leagues, and the committee done all the fixtures and all that until the league stopped, or the FA stopped doing fixtures for kids, because it's development leagues, and this is development league football. This is for the kids to develop their skills, but the coaches are doing a brilliant job again, and the managers are doing a fantastic job as well. But the volunteers, 90% I'd say, or something like that, of volunteers, of coaches and managers are unpaid. That is a lot. That is a lot. They do it for the kids, and that's just it. But again, we had a league official. It was a great talk, don't get me wrong. It was no animosity towards it. It was our own opinions and what we're saying, and this is my own opinion. That before a manager or coach goes into a league, he should check out the rules and regulations and what they're signing up for, because that is part and parcel of it. But what I'm saying is we should make it easy for these managers and coaches. You sign up to the FA basically. That's what you're signing up, not your league, because we're all doing full time, which is organised by the FA and your county FAs. So where are we really signing up to that league, or to the work that the county FA and the FA want us to do? Because you have to do the whole game system as well. But thankfully that's not in the league rules, that is the FA. Everyone's working them out together, because without them you can't register your team. So you work out the amount. Now if you're becoming a coach, if you want to become a coach, think very, very carefully indeed, because there's a lot to do. It's not just about getting 5 to 7 kids available, or even 11 kids, 15 kids. It all depends on what age group that you want to do. So if you're thinking about taking the kids off the streets and put them into a team and organising a team just as a nice community member, think again, because it's not that easy. It really isn't. These are facts. You have to get the players, then you have to train those players, then you have to get some sort of organisation before you organise a kit, either out your own pocket, out of the parents' pockets, or a sponsor if you're lucky. And once you get that done, then you register your team. The kids have got a kit. You register your team with a league, a local league, whatever league that you think that you can make it to and all the parents are happy with. Then you have to probably open a WhatsApp group so you can keep in contact with every parent to let them know when training is, because you have a training day, and when your game is, if you're lucky enough to get into that league. But before you get into that league, you have to register your team with the local county FA. Once you've registered that team, then every person who are involved in that team, i.e. the manager or the coach or the welfare officer, have to take a course through the Liverpool County FA. And then before that, you have to get your DBS check, which is a check on basically your life, what you've been up to, and make sure that you are okay to coach kids. You've got a nice clean DBS, that's what it's all about. But unfortunately, if you've got a DBS or 6 DBSs from other jobs, then you have to do another one with the county FA because it's not recognised. So it's going to cost you as a volunteer about £10.50. Then you register with that, but then you go with safeguarding course. Now there used to be discounted courses, and remember, you're a volunteer, but you're going to pay about £30 for the safeguarding course. That is becoming mandatory. Once you've done that, then you have to make sure that you have to do football for all. There's a lot. You have to do the committee safeguarding. There's a few of them. Just go onto the FA website to check out what you need to do. And if you want to be a welfare officer, then you have to do the welfare officer course as well. I'm not sure whether that's free or there's a charge for that one as well. And before you can do that, then you have to do some sort of level coaching badge, level 1, or bring someone in who has a level 1 coaching badge to help you to organise the team. Once that's all done, then you register with your league, and the league costs you around about, for an under 7s team of the league that we're in, around about £198 to affiliate to that league. But before you affiliate to that league, you have to affiliate to the local county FA and take insurance out as well, which will cost you around about £29. But then if you want public liability, it's about £61, and these are figures just around and about, so we're estimated. So you have to do those as well. So everything is all honky-dory with your team. Now, you can go and play a game of football, or can you go and play a game of football? Then you register your colours with the league, and then you adopt all the league rules, which is the full time. And the full time means that when you've played a game of football, after that game of football, once you've registered all your team with the whole game system, by the way, and got your players, parents, and anything that you can do or think of on the whole game system, you need to register up on that one as well before the kids can be accepted into the league. Then once the league gets the information that you've done everything that you're supposed to do, then the league will register your team as well. So then whatever age group it is, you'll get your fixtures, and you'll pay £10, whatever the league fees are, per week for the referee. So you have to make sure that you've got that money in as well, because no pay to the referee, no play. Once all that is organised, you've got your kits, you've got your team, you've got your players, then after your first game, you go home and you've got 30 hours to do this, because you've got a deadline by 6 o'clock Sunday night. Not if you play on a Sunday though. I think then it goes into the Monday. I'm not sure. Leagues are taking this up. It's admin. And I think leagues used to do the admin. Now it makes it easier for the leagues, for the managers to do all the admin. So the managers need to put their scores down, half time, full time, and then they have to do the FA marks about sideline behaviour, and then they have to mark the referee. Now, many referees are talking to me saying, why are you managers marking us? What would you know that, how was the whistle, how was this, blah, blah, blah. It's one of those, but you still have to do it. And if you have a score of 60 or below, then you have to put a note down as to why you have marked this referee as low marks. Anything else over the 60, then you're okay. You don't need to put in any notes. Then you have to declare what the pitch was like that you were playing on, and obviously if it's 3D, if it's grass, anything like that, and they're all tick boxes, and that's all they are. But you have to make note if there's anything untoward. Then you put your team players down, what team you've got, registered team, and who played, who was substitute, who was the captain, things like that. A lot to do. So this takes 1 minute, by the way. But you let me know if I'm correct, if it takes 1 minute. mal@don'texttheline.com. Then when you've done all that one, that's great. Then you can wait for the next fixture, and when the next fixture comes out from the league, then you then put that back into your WhatsApp group, talk to all the parents, see if all the players are ready. This is for the following week. So you can see where I'm coming from. It's not easy, and many managers and coaches out there now are complaining a little bit more because of the fines of what they're getting off the leagues if they're not doing all their admin correctly. Volunteers, these coaches, managers are volunteers. Now, as I've stated to the leagues themselves, referees obviously are not volunteers because they get paid. And I support the referees for all the verbal abuse, aggressive behaviour, racist comments and bullying that we shouldn't have on touchlines, but unfortunately that we do. So I make sure that these are spoken to correctly and left alone to do that. But I have nothing to do with their monies. That's the leagues. And many leagues out there are competing with the pay for the referees, as we know, because they want to gain more referees into their league. Because as we say, no ref, no game. But all these coaches walk away from grassroots football, which I think many will by the end of the season. I can see teams folding, not just because of admin, but the cost of junior football as well, youth football, and the hubs, £51 a quarter, and this is what you have to do as a manager as well, take note of that, quarter pitch, or this is on certain hubs. You can shop round, you can find them cheaper, as one manager pointed out to me, but every team's looking for this, so you'll probably not get that booked up. So you need to shop around and unfortunately pay these full prices, and that's another damaging effect on parents' pockets, because you don't expect the manager to pay them, even though I know some managers out there do chip in. So if you wanted a full pitch for an hour, it's £204. Now this is what I'm trying to do. Less pay, more play, less pay campaign. I'm getting myself mixed up. More play, less pay campaign. I'm trying to make sure that we've got less admin, no admin if possible, and no fines, and also cheaper referee fees and cheaper hubs, grassroots hubs for the teams, because by the time you've mounted it all up and took stock of your money, and it depends on the club, I think you'd be lucky to break even. I believe, what is your figures? We need figures coming in off you managers about your team, what the cost of the leagues are, if you get fined, how much everything it is, your affiliation, put it all together, even if you buy the kit or the parents pay for it, and how much subs that you've worked out that the parents will have to pay to try and get some coffers in the club to pay maybe fines, maybe league fees for the following season, because you need to get money into your club. And if you do spot the balls, which you might have to raise more money, let me know, because it seems to me that everyone's saying, well, go out and do a spot the ball, go and do backpack and go and do charity events to raise money for your team. It's up to you how you run your club and how you feel that you can raise money to make the kids, or give the kids, a game of football. Remember, this is development football for the kids. Just put into it perspective as to what you need to pay out, including all your courses, what it's cost you as well to run a football team. It's not cheap. Think about it if you want to become a coach or a manager before you sign up to any league. It's a worry, but you can join our campaign because I want to try and get all these fees basically whitewashed if we can, or right down to a very minimum payment, and everyone then is happy and succeeding a lot more, and teams are unfolding. That is all about us today in the Grassroots Football Show. We've gone 25 minutes into it and I need to explain a lot today. Hope you've enjoyed the show. I'd love your feedback. Again, mal@don'texttheline.com. Add me as a friend on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the social network sites. In the meantime, enjoy your games, or I hope you enjoyed your games. Look forward to next week, no doubt. We'll see you on Friday with young commentators from myself, Mal Lee, and all the team here at the Grassroots Show. Don't cross the line, respect programme, no ref, no game, and our Hearts of Gold initiatives. And if you want to know anything about them, just drop me a line and we'll see you on Friday night at 7 p.m. Good night, God bless.